Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring preserved roses. You're thinking about adding them to your business, and I think that's a brilliant idea.
I agree.
To help us understand this blossoming market, we have a floral industry expert with us.
Hello.
They've got their finger on the pulse of all the latest trends.
You could say that.
We'll also be drawing from notes by Annie Zhang, the CEO of Sweetie Gifts, a company specializing in preserved roses. Annie's got 2 decades of experience in the flower industry, so her insights are invaluable, especially when it comes to supply chains in the US, Europe, and China. And we've also got a really helpful article titled Wholesale Preserved Roses in Boxes, a comprehensive guide.
Annie's experience across different markets gives us a panoramic view, of global preserved rose landscape, which is especially useful for someone like you who's looking to potentially source from different regions.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly are preserved roses?
So preserved roses are real roses that have undergone a special process to keep them looking fresh and vibrant for months or even years.
Wow, so we're talking like imagine the natural beauty of a rose, but without the worry of wilting.
Exactly. That's it.
That's quite a contrast to the usual lifespan of a bouquet. Does this preservation process somehow compromise the rose's fragrance?
That's a great question. While the preservation process does slightly subdue the natural fragrance, it doesn't eliminate it entirely. Many suppliers actually infuse the roses with delicate scents during the preservation process to enhance their aroma.
Interesting, that makes sense. And I bet that longer lifespan translates into some cost savings for businesses too.
Absolutely. Think about it. Reduced waste, fewer replacements, those savings can really add up, especially for businesses that use roses regularly like event planners or hotels. You're offering lasting value to customers while also benefiting your bottom line.
So for our listener who's thinking about incorporating these into their business, where does the customization come in? I see a lot of options in this article.
Oh yeah, customization is where preserved roses really shine. You can tailor them to fit your brand aesthetic perfectly. Think of it like choosing different features for a custom-built car, where each choice influences the final price. We're talking about a range of box sizes, from a single statement rose all the way up to a show-stopping 99 roses.
Wow, 99 roses. That's a lot of roses.
Yeah. And the colors. Forget your basic reds and pinks.
Right.
We're talking exotic shades like green tea and lilac, even metallics like gold and silver.
Gold roses. That sounds intriguing. Is that a popular trend right now?
Metallics are definitely having a moment. They add a touch of luxury and sophistication, which is why they're popular for high-end events and gifts.
Speaking of gifts, wouldn't the boxes themselves offer some great branding opportunities?
Absolutely. You can get incredibly creative with the boxes round, square, heart-shaped, you name it. And the materials are just as diverse: suede, acrylic, even eco-friendly options. You can really incorporate your logo, brand colors, and create collections that are uniquely yours.
Okay, so we've covered the wow factor and the customization. Let's get down to the practicalities. What about cost and logistics? What should our listener keep in mind when it comes to sourcing these roses wholesale?
Well, when it comes to wholesale pricing, several factors come into play. Quantity is a big one, as you might expect. The more you order, the lower the price per rose. The quality of the roses also matters. Premium roses command a higher price. And then there's customization. Those unique boxes and special colors will add to the overall cost.
I imagine minimum order quantities and bulk discounts are also important considerations, right?
Absolutely. It's worth exploring those options with potential suppliers to see how you can maximize your budget. And speaking of suppliers, getting samples before committing to a large order is crucial.
So how would our listener go about getting samples?
You can usually reach out to suppliers directly and ask about sample availability. Many have curated sample kits that give you a good overview of their product range. Trade shows are also a fantastic way to see the products in person and connect with suppliers.
Makes sense. Now you found the perfect supplier. You've placed your order, but these are delicate beauties. How do they get to you or your customers safely?
Shipping is a crucial part of the process, and the costs and delivery times can vary significantly. It depends on where you're shipping to. The shipping method you choose, air freight, is faster but more expensive, while sea freight is more economical but takes longer, and of course, the size of your order. Interestingly, ocean container rates for U.S. shipping have dropped recently, which is good news for your budget.
Well, those lower shipping costs are great news. What about protecting the roses during transit?
Climate control and secure packaging are non-negotiable. You want to ensure those roses arrive in pristine condition. Look for suppliers who use sturdy boxes and protective materials to prevent any damage during transit. And climate control is just as important, especially for those longer sea freight journeys.
That makes sense. You definitely don't want any wilting surprises after all that effort. So let's say our listener is ready to start researching suppliers. What should they be looking for?
Well, finding the right supplier is key to success in this business, right? You want a partner who understands your needs and can deliver consistent quality. Start by exploring industry reports. They often list leading suppliers and provide insights into market trends. Online platforms like Alibaba are also great resources, especially for finding international suppliers.
And I see this article also stresses the importance of things like certifications and testimonials. What should our listener pay attention to there?
Yeah, certifications like CE marking and phytosanitary certificates are good indicators of a supplier's commitment to quality and compliance.
Can you explain those a little more for our listener who might not be familiar with them?
Sure, a CE marking signifies that a product meets European Union safety, health, and environmental protection standards. This is important even if you're not in Europe, as it demonstrates a commitment to quality. A phytosanitary certificate is essentially a passport for your roses, ensuring they're free from pests and diseases. It's a requirement for international trade to protect plant health.
So it's about peace of mind, knowing the roses meet international standards. And what about those client testimonials? I imagine those could be pretty revealing.
Absolutely. Hearing from other businesses about their experiences with a supplier can be invaluable. It gives you a sense of their reliability, communication style, and overall professionalism.
It's like getting a behind-the-scenes look at what it's really like to work with them.
Mm.
Okay, so you found a supplier, you got your roses, they're safely shipped. Are we done?
Not quite. Preserved roses are unique, and they need a little TLC to maintain their beauty for years to come. Educating your customers on proper care is essential. Think of it as empowering them to become rose guardians.
I love that analogy. So what are the key things customers need to know?
The care instructions are pretty straightforward. Avoid direct sunlight as this can fade the colors over time. It's also important to control humidity levels. Too much moisture can damage the delicate petals. And finally, maintain stable temperatures as extreme heat or cold can affect the rose's integrity.
So it's all about keeping them in a cool, dry place and out of direct sunlight. Simple enough, right?
Yeah.
What if our listener wants to go a step further to educate their customers? Any creative ideas there?
Absolutely. Consider creating detailed care manuals to include with each rose box. This way, customers have all the information they need at their fingertips. You could even offer online demonstrations or in-person workshops to show people how to handle and display their preserved roses.
That's a great way to add value and build a stronger connection with customers. And while you're at it, remind those customers that they're getting a product that combines durability with minimal maintenance. No wilting, no watering, just pure, long-lasting beauty.
Exactly. Now, speaking of sustainability, this leads us to another important aspect of preserved roses. They're incredibly eco-friendly, which is a major selling point these days.
You know, I have to admit, when I first thought about preserved roses, eco-friendly wasn't the first thing that came to mind. How do they actually stack up against fresh roses?
Well, they actually have several environmental advantages. First, think about waste. Fresh roses have a limited lifespan, often ending up in landfills after a week or two. Preserved roses, on the other hand, can last for years, dramatically reducing floral waste.
That makes a lot of sense. Fewer roses in the landfill is definitely a good thing. Are there other environmental benefits?
Absolutely. Because they last longer, fewer resources are needed for things like cultivation, transportation, and even refrigeration. This translates into a smaller carbon footprint compared to fresh roses, which require constant replenishment.
So it's about reducing waste and resource consumption. Are there any other eco-friendly aspects to consider?
Yes, preserved roses are treated just once with the preservation solution, while fresh flowers often require ongoing chemical treatments to stay looking their best. This means fewer chemicals are used throughout the lifespan of a preserved rose, making them a more environmentally sound choice. And of course, responsible sourcing is also key.
What should our listener look for in terms of sourcing practices?
Look for suppliers who use eco-friendly preservation techniques and partner with farms that prioritize sustainable practices. Transparency is key here. Don't be afraid to ask your supplier about their sourcing and preservation methods.
It sounds like there's a lot to consider when evaluating suppliers. Now, earlier we talked about Annie Zhang and her company Sweetie Gifts. She actually offered some great insights in her notes that I think are worth highlighting.
Yeah, Annie's perspective is incredibly valuable. She's been in the business for so long, she really understands the nuances of the market.
Right. She talked about how Sweetie Gifts offers a wide range of box sizes, from a single rose to that impressive 99 rose box. It really showcases the versatility of preserved roses.
And she also emphasized the importance of customization. She mentioned that Sweetie Gifts can incorporate logos, brand colors, and even create unique collections to reflect a company's brand identity.
She clearly understands the power of personalization. And given her 20 years of experience, I'm guessing she also has a deep understanding of the supply chain.
Absolutely. She mentioned that she regularly visits flower markets in the US and Europe to stay on top of trends and build relationships with growers. And she works closely with her factory in China to ensure a smooth and efficient supply chain. This kind of hands-on approach is really reassuring for businesses that rely on timely deliveries and consistent quality.
That makes sense. It sounds like she's really passionate about preserved roses and about helping businesses like our listeners succeed.
She even encouraged listeners to contact Sweetie Gifts for wholesale options, which is a great opportunity if you're looking for a reliable supplier.
That's a good reminder that there are resources and experts out there who are ready to help. Now, let's circle back to the article, Wholesale Preserved Roses in Boxes, a comprehensive guide. It provided some helpful tips on getting samples quickly.
Oh, yeah, it did. It suggested reaching out to suppliers directly to inquire about sample availability. Some even offer curated sample kits, which is a convenient way to see a variety of products. And the article also highlighted the benefits of attending trade shows where you can see the products firsthand and connect with suppliers in person.
It's all about doing your research and finding the right fit for your business. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to touch on something we haven't really talked about yet. The emotional aspect of preserved roses. I think this is something our listener can leverage when marketing these roses to customers.
That's a great point. Preserved roses aren't just beautiful, they carry a lot of symbolism, right? They represent lasting love, enduring beauty, and the preservation of special moments.
That's a powerful message, especially in a world that often feels fleeting and temporary.
Exactly. Preserved roses offer a sense of permanence, a way to hold on to something precious. It's no wonder they're becoming increasingly popular for weddings, anniversaries, and other milestones.
They're like a timeless memento, a reminder of a special occasion or a loved one. And that emotional connection can be a powerful driver for consumers.
It really is. And it's something you can tap into, when you're marketing your preserved roses. Highlight that symbolism, that idea of lasting beauty and enduring memories. It resonates with people on a deep level.
Yeah, I bet. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the preservation process and customization options to sourcing, shipping, care, and even the emotional and environmental aspects. It's clear that preserved roses are more than just a pretty face.
They really are. They offer a unique combination of beauty, practicality, and sustainability that's hard to beat.
With all this in mind, it's clear that incorporating preserved roses into your business could be a real game changer. They offer a product that appeals to a wide range of customers, allows for incredible customization and branding opportunities, and aligns with the growing demand for sustainable and eco-friendly options.
Exactly. And it's not just about the product itself, it's about the story you tell and the experience you create for your customers.
So for our listener who's been absorbing all this information and considering adding preserved roses to their offerings, what would be your biggest piece of advice as they move forward?
I would say do your research, understand your target market, and find the right partners to help you bring your vision to life. There are so many resources available, industry reports, online platforms, trade shows, and of course, experts like Annie Zhang who are willing to share their knowledge and experience.
That's great advice. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a thought-provoking question, one that we hope will spark your imagination and inspire you to take action.
Okay?
Think about your business, your brand, your customers, and ask yourself, could incorporating preserved roses be a way to differentiate your business, appeal to eco-conscious consumers, and tap into the growing market for unique and lasting gifts?
That's a good one.
Let that question simmer in your mind. See where it leads you. We believe preserved roses hold immense potential, and we're excited to see what creative ideas you come up with.
And remember, the beauty of preserved roses lies not only in their physical appearance, but also in their symbolism, their sustainability, and their potential to connect with people on an emotional level.
So as you explore this new avenue, don't be afraid to think outside the box, get creative, and let your passion shine through.
Embrace the possibilities and let the beauty of preserved roses inspire you to create something truly extraordinary.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of preserved roses. We hope you've enjoyed the journey.
We certainly have, and we wish you all the best in your floral endeavors.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep blooming.